On this episode, we are back with part 2 of our most recent trip review, where we talk more about food and wine, Fort Wilderness, and we dine at Grand Floridian Cafe for lunch. Today is August 18th, 2023. And this is episode 592 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and Rhonda is back.
Woohoo! Hi, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, MainStMagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, it can be quite overwhelming when it comes to booking those dining reservations. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking your Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
So yes, today we are finishing up our end of summer little camping trip at Fort Wilderness. And we got to see Chris and Rachel and Tay and Steph.
It was such a fun weekend.
We
got to see a lot of people.
We did.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, apologies that these weren't back to back last weekend. Schedules just got busy.
It's all Jeremy's fault.
It was a little bit my fault. But we usually record on Sunday for Tuesday's episode. But what did we go ahead and do on Sunday that kind of broke up our whole day, or took up a big chunk in the middle of our day last Sunday?
Well, yeah, and Jeremy's parents were in town too, so it was a little rough. But we actually finally saw the Haunted Mansion. So
What did you think?
Yeah, it was our family, and then of course we took Talon, and I absolutely loved it.
I did too.
100%.
Yep.
It was super funny. I had a client recently that asked about her child seeing it and if it would be scary. And I asked if you watched the Eddie Murphy one. And she was like, there's an Eddie Murphy one? And I was like,
oh boy.
Yeah. And I was like, so it's really cool, in my opinion, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, I'd watch the Eddie Murphy one almost before I'd go to see this one, because Eddie Murphy's version is literally about the guy. What was his name?
Gracie. Yeah, it's about Master Gracie.
Master Gracie.
Yep.
The whole movie's about Master Gracie.
Yep.
This new Haunted Mansion movie is all about Hatbox Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's
so
what I
different.
love. Well, that's what I love. They're very, very different.
I do.
They're completely different stories.
Yeah.
Completely different characters. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of characters
Love
in
it.
this one and the
Love
new one.
it.
I think they both stand alone on their own. We actually really like the Eddie Murphy one. I mean, I
did.
I grew up on Eddie Murphy,
Yeah.
like Beverly Hills Cop and his stand-up and all. So I've always, Saturday Night Live, I've always been a huge Eddie Murphy fan. I mean, he's one of those, mostly if you put him in a movie, I will watch it and I will enjoy it for the most part. I love him. So I really like that version. If you did not like the Eddie Murphy version, don't let that keep you from seeing this one if you haven't.
Oh, absolutely. Because again, it's a different.
It
different.
was really, really good.
Mhm.
Like, I loved it. This is a new Halloween staple. I'm hoping that this hits Disney Plus by October 1st so we can watch it many, many times. And if
Yes.
what will be interesting is that it is such fanfare for Disney and Haunted Mansion fans. I would be very interested for someone to watch this movie that knows nothing about Haunted Mansion rides or isn't a Disney fan and see how they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it would still be enjoyable.
I do too.
Because it sets up the story. You're not going to get a lot of the little, maybe some of the little jokes, the Easter eggs, and it's another reason to watch it over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are hundreds of Easter eggs throughout this movie as it relates to both Disneyland and Walt Disney World and beyond.
Right.
We actually sat and watched, for the first time ever, a point of view ride through of the Haunted Mansion over in Disneyland.
Yes,
we had never seen it. So there's subtle changes over there. And yeah, there's so many nods in this, and everybody's outstanding in it. Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito are great. Danny DeVito is so funny.
Yeah, it was. It was
and
just
then
great.
Lakeith Stanfield, who's like one of the main characters, Ben, was outstanding. He is so good.
And not bad to look at either.
No, and I did not realize he played Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton when they did the NWA movie
Nice.
with
Did
Ice
you watch
Cube's
that?
son. I did. Yeah. I think I still have it on DVD up in the attic somewhere.
Oh my
It's probably
goodness.
melted now. A
Probably.
box full of DVDs up there that I couldn't sell to Second and Charles, and they're probably all just goo by now because we have been hitting. I would like to know what it is in the attic. We should put a thermometer up there and see, because outside feels like temps have hit up to 115. So it's insane. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Can't wait to see it again. It only took so long for us to see it because we were gone every weekend.
And not for nothing, I was busy. Like, we were gone every weekend, and I was busy where I'm like, please, if y'all see this without me,
no, there's no way we were going to see this.
I'm
without
like,
you. Yeah, you were kind enough to let us go see the Barbie movie.
Yes.
Without you, I'm excited for that to hit digital so that you can see it, and I can't wait to see it again. The Barbie movie, actually. All right. Let's move on. One thing we forgot to talk about last time was your coffee, and we're gonna actually, works in because we're gonna
probably.
I know we
hop
got
back
through.
and forth.
Yeah, we hopped back and forth. Part one, we went into Saturday a bit. We skipped over our Friday food and wine visit because we were going to save it for this one.
Right.
But we did take the golf cart down again. CamperRentalAdventures.com.
Yes.
If you are looking to do Disney like you've never done it before in such a fun way, especially if you have a larger family. Again, just can't recommend using them enough. You can go ahead and book the campsite through MEI-Travel.com, and then you would separately reach out to Dawn at CamperRentalAdventures.com, and they have options from, you could be a couple that wants to go and do something different, all the way up to a family of 8 to 10 and sleep comfortably.
Absolutely.
So do that. Of course, vacation grocery delivery, FL.com. Get all your groceries delivered. You can cook in the cabin. We're going to talk about that some.
Camper.
Camper, I'm sorry.
You can cook in the cabin
you can
as
cook
well.
in the cabin too. Rachel did. Rachel did pot roast, and we'll talk crock pots in a bit. But what did you have that morning for it's great because Camper Rental Adventures is going to provide you a Keurig in your camper, and they're going to provide you Keurig K-Pods, flavors all over the place, like tons of wonderful flavors.
Yes.
So, but if you want to venture out, try something a little special, what do they have down at the new Trails End?
Well, and this is the main reason I got it, because they have a couple of actually like lattes and things like that. One of their coffee things that they had was a campfire s'mores latte. This is an espresso blend with Swiss chocolate, toasted marshmallows, and topped with whipped cream, graham cracker crumbs, and mini marshmallows for $4.99. First of all, I guess it's a one size, and it's more on the large side to me, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was so good. It was a little sweet, but not too sweet, which is good, because I really didn't mix all the whipped cream and marshmallows together. I drank the coffee. It was iced. I did do an iced one because it was very hot. I really, really liked it.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Well, I'm looking now, $4.99. I'm like, dang, that's a good price. We just went to Panera, and I paid. Well, I think my garbage coffee was $6.29. My latte. Not a fan. I don't think I'm a fan of their actual coffee flavor at Panera. I'd rather do Starbucks, but the breakfast sandwiches were delicious.
I hate to admit that out of all the coffee places I've ever been to, Starbucks is the winner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm now even getting it from Publix, the blonde roast,
yeah.
and just drinking it black, and it's amazing.
And not to go off on crazy of a tangent, but I used to not be able to do Starbucks because I drank the caffeinated versions, and it was just way too much caffeine. It always made me jittery. And now that I drink decaf, I really love their coffee.
Good.
I always loved the flavor before. I just didn't like the way it made me feel. Now, absolutely love it that I switched to decaf. But let's move into Friday.
Yep.
Kids were sleeping in a little bit at the camper. So I was up, of course, before 7 a.m., and I figured I would snag a Cosmic Rewind, still undefeated, by the way, on the virtual queue. I mean, when things are going the way they're supposed to.
Okay, I started to say, wait a minute. But we did get that 1 p.m. drop.
If there's not a Wi-Fi issue because I'm in the bathroom like we did the last time, then still undefeated. But so I was like, well, we'll ride Cosmic, and we'll go ahead and try some more food and wine dishes.
Yes.
If you want to hear about the first dozen or so dishes that we tried, go back to episode 587. When they open all the new booths here, now a couple more did open just this past weekend or week, like Noodle Exchange finally opened up.
Oh, yay.
But all the new booths with all new items are opening up September 22nd. So we will be there that weekend to try a bunch of those. So we'll come back. But we wanted to try a few things while we were there, while we were waiting for Cosmic Rewind. And then we wanted to ride and get back to the campground and, hang out and all of that. So again, this is Friday. But first we did stop in Italy. What drove us to stop in there? Did you see the limoncello from outside?
I don't remember if we were just talking about something and then I was like, ooh, limoncello. And then I was like, oh, I bet Italy has some.
Yeah.
So
it's that little wine shop as you're entering, to the back of the pavilion towards like Via Napoli on the right there on the corner is what we went into.
So we went in there and they have little shots basically that you can get. And there was a limoncello and actually there was other ones and they had an amaretto. So I wanted limoncello and then Jeremy was like, well, you know what? Instead of getting the same thing, we like amaretto. Mm-hmm. So he got one of those.
$13?
I think so.
Yeah, $13 each.
Yep. For each one. So it doesn't matter.
And it's
so
a little plastic shot. I mean, it's not,
This is awful to say, but if you're religious and you go to church, it's the little communion cups.
But bigger than that. Those are like the size of a thimble, aren't they?
Some of them are like that.
Oh, they're that size? Okay.
Yeah. I've been to a church like that before where it's been about that size. And sometimes they'll fill them half full though. Whereas they filled this to the top.
Filling them with limoncello or amaretto. So we got these and we actually just walked and sipped these. Like, I'll be honest, these are so delicious that if you're just taking it like a shot, you're just wasting your money.
Oh,
because
100%.
it is a delicious beverage to just sip on. Yep. So we sipped on that for a little bit and then actually doubled back. And got a bottle of the limoncello for $30 for that whole bottle. So when you think about it, like $30 is a heck of a steal when they're charging $13 for a shot. You know what I mean? Think of how many shot worths are in a $30 bottle. I mean, you take 2 or 3 drinks out of there and you already made your money back. So it is absolutely delicious though.
It is.
They are no longer, ever since coming back from the pandemic and reopening, they no longer will ship the alcohol to the front. You used to not be able to walk away with it.
Correct.
They would have to ship it to the front and you would pick it up on your way out of the park.
Right.
Now they're basically telling you, do not open this in the park. And then they kind of sealed it a little bit. I mean, it went inside of a box, inside of the bag. Yeah, it was wrapped up and all.
Then sealed, well, not sealed, but
and I think they wrote a note on it, didn't they? I swear there was a note on it also that was like, do not open this and drink it in the park. So just don't do that. All right, let's move on to what we tried and we will start. We're actually just going to go in order of the way we tried things.
Oh, because I started to say we could just start in Italy since we're there because we did get there too.
Sure. We'll start in Italy then. And
because we got that.
Now I'm all thrown off. All right.
Sorry.
Then kind of go back in the regular order.
Yes.
Okay. Good. It's the way my notes go. All right. So we had the cavatelli with sweet sausage, a ragu, and crispy applewood smoked bacon. This is new for $10. Rhonda, take it away.
I don't remember it.
Exactly.
I mean, I need to see the picture. It was good. I thought it was good though, right?
I love the cavatelli pasta because it has all the ridges and stuff that'll hold the sauces and all. It's Italy. I know we sound like a broken record and we keep going back to Italy, part for entertainment value and part to see if they do it right. They're not bad dishes. They're not good dishes. I could go make this in 5 minutes, probably with stuff we already have in the pantry and in the fridge.
Right.
It's just, they're just not wowing ever. So, I mean, I will continue to say, just pass Italy. There's no reason to go.
Is this the one? I think it was the one then we tried, and I was like, because I liked the other one better with the.
You like the bruschetta with the burrata and all that.
We didn't finish this, did we? Because it was a lot.
I think I did just because I was hungry.
It was a lot, and now I'm remembering it was. If you're gonna spend your money at Italy. And you're going to get something, in my opinion.
You get a drink.
Okay. If you're going to get food, I would get the
bruschetta one, which was, I mean, it's almost kind of like an open-faced bruschetta pizza something. I don't even know.
Maybe
focaccia, I'm sorry, is what it was.
And maybe they'll listened to our podcast before. And
They haven't yet. We've been bashing them for half a decade at this
well,
point.
I mean, crisp up the bread because
Yeah.
the bread was a little soft.
I know. So I would pass through. Let's go now in order. We'll go to China. They have a new menu item. We always love China. It's a crispy duck bao bun with hoisin sauce for $8.25.
This was fantastic.
It was.
So good.
Here-
All the bao bun. I love a bao bun.
Yeah.
Period. They never mess up a bao bun.
No, they're
in my
so
opinion.
perfectly soft, but they have that little bit of, it's the only word I can think of, skin on the outside. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
That's weird.
they're so
Yeah.
perfectly steamed.
Yes, and that crispy duck was like it was crispy. It was crunchy crispy, but you could still taste the duck.
Yeah, but super tender on the inside.
Yes.
Like it had that crispy
So
skin
good.
around it. See, here's what I think China does really well that Italy could take note from. Simple. They're simple.
Yeah.
This isn't a crispy duck bao bun with kimchi and hoisin sauce and pickled daikon radishes dipped in a, you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, this is duck. This is pretty much hoisin sauce. It might have had a little sliver of vegetable or something in there on a perfectly steamed bao bun.
Yeah.
There's no need in Italy, if you've already got a sweet sausage ragu, you don't need to sprinkle crispy applewood smoked bacon on it. They're
Which
just
was
trying
just,
too hard.
Bacon bits.
Yeah, literally. So they're trying too hard and it's not working. Whereas China just goes simple. Now, we'll move to Mexico. Mexico doesn't go simple, but they make all the ingredients work.
Yes.
And we had the tostada de carnitas. This is braised pork on a fried corn tortilla with black beans, avocado mousse, queso fresco, and chives. This is new this year for $7.75. This might be my best of the fest so far. I think this is it's top 3 my favorite we've had so far.
Okay.
I'll probably put it up there with the Italian beef sandwich from America.
Mhm.
This was outstanding.
We also had their dessert, correct?
Yes, we did almost have did have their dessert, which I almost forgot. Because why? Because I didn't order their dessert.
We did not. Jeremy was wearing his Be Nice to Cast Members hat. And it was a very, very hot day. Where, I mean, I was pretty much dripping sweat and I don't usually do that. And it was just bad. This weekend, actually, the whole weekend. With that being said, cast members this weekend were loving your hat.
Yeah, they were.
So he orders and then he notices one of the cast members kind of runs off and comes back. And when we were getting our food, a very nice cast member comes out and says she wanted you to have the pastel impossible, which is layers of traditional Mexican flan, tres leche, and with guava.
Tres leches.
Okay. And guava.
Cajita.
Yeah, that's new for $6. And
It was super
it
sweet.
was, but it was so good.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was super sweet of them to give
Oh,
that
yeah,
to
yeah,
us. Yeah, I mean, she literally handed it to us like, she wanted you to have this. We love your hat.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, thank you so much.
And so that was
But
neat
this was
because
this
we
was a
wanted to
delicious
try
dessert.
it.
Yeah,
It was very, very good.
I loved it.
Um,
I love tres leches, though.
Yes.
And guava, I think, is severely underrated. There's
Yep.
not enough guava
And
in
the
things.
flan was really good.
I enjoyed this. And it was a refreshing dessert on a super hot day.
Yeah.
So,
But it was also kind of melting too.
it was very quickly.
So-
but still,
Yeah, it was
I
really
really
good.
enjoyed this. I would easily pay the $6 for it. You know, one of the things we talk about a lot, we bring water bottles into the parks.
Yes, we do.
And first of all, just get yourself a good water bottle. We really like the Hydrate. We've talked about before, Hydrate Spark. You can go out there. They have either tumbler styles that we have. They also have water bottles with a nice like closed lid, and they are Bluetooth, and they connect with an app on your phone, and it will tell you when you need to drink water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about ways to beat the heat. This is one of them. So we always have something like that, or we're just carrying the refillable mugs. Over in Connections, there is a soda machine there, a fountain one that you can get water and ice from.
Mhm.
We fill up there every time we walk past.
And just get water, guys.
Yeah, and you can stop at any quick service and get free ice water. Or if you bring your own water in because you hate the taste of Florida water, just go ask for a cup of ice
Mhm.
and then take your hot water bottle that's been in your park bag and pour that in to cool
Or
it down.
freeze it.
Yeah, or freeze water bottles if you have
And
a freezer and a
then-
DVC or staying off property. Go ahead and freeze water bottles to take with you. But we stopped at the American Outpost to get a water. And the waters they give you are smalls. They're very, very small.
They are.
normally.
And Jennifer was actually putting a whole bunch out there because, like I said, it was a very hot day. So I then, the way it was in the line, I kind of got out of line because that's all I was going to get. I was not going to order. And I went to go, and she actually asked, "Are you filling up your bottles?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And she got a giant cup that literally she filled with ice and water and gave it to me. And then it literally filled mine and Jeremy's bottle. And she was sweet enough to say, "Do you need another one? Is that it?" And I was like, "No, thank you so much." I do unfortunately have a feeling that with these really hot temperatures, they have been seeing unfortunate people passing out and stuff like that.
And remember, if you might be here going, you know what? I'm not going till October. I don't really care about your ways to beat the heat. October 1st, 2021, during the 50th celebration, Kaylin almost passed out in the middle of Main Street. And she had not been there for long. And luckily, we noticed she she was turning white and we noticed, and we could tell she wasn't feeling good. We rushed her right into the Main Street confectionery there. She sat down in the AC, got her a bottle of water, and she was good to go. But that was October. So just remember that. Yep. All right, let's move on to our final booth before we're going to get called for Cosmic Rewind. America. Since I knew this was the final booth, they had all new items this year as far as the savory dishes go. We had already done the Italian beef and loved it.
Yes.
I decided to get the other two new items.
Yes, you did.
So the first was the cioppino. This is a seafood stew with saffron-infused tomato fennel broth and sourdough crostini, $7.50. And then the chiquiles, which are corn tortilla chips tossed in salsa verde with ranchero chicken, queso fresco, cilantro lime crema, and a soft poached egg for $6.75. Now, the chiquiles were ready to roll. So they gave me those. And then they did not have any cioppino ready because they're basically steaming the bag. They have bag nets of the seafood ready to go. And they've got a separate thing with the broth. They're going to steam the seafood pretty much fresh for you. They're going to dump it in the bowl.
You saw them pull it off ice?
I think they were pulling them out of the fridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're going to steam it fresh for you. They're going to put it in the bowl. They're going to pour the tomato fennel broth over top, put the crostini, and hand it to you. So I actually stood there for a couple minutes, which was fine, other than it was hot. But I was talking to the cast members and all. So we'll talk about the chiquiles first because since they had sat a little bit, the chips were no longer crispy. They were soggy.
Good flavor, though.
Oh, still tasted amazing.
Right.
I just missed the crunch. We both did.
Yes, we did.
But I thought everything else was great.
Yeah, you love the soft poached egg.
Oh, yeah. When you crack that open and the yolk mixes with all the salsa verde all over the chips. And then it just had this perfect shredded chicken.
Loved it.
Yeah. And what I really liked about this, maybe this will be an Anyone Can Cook Wonderland Crew live stream because you could easily make this at home. I mean, all the time I do chicken in the crock pot.
You know what else you can make at home?
What?
Olivia's grits.
We're going to do that. I didn't talk
grits.
to you yet. And this episode will come out on Friday. I think we're going to do that for our Anyone Can Cook live stream. You just have to decide if you'd rather do it Saturday or Sunday morning. And then we'll go ahead and I'll cook up some shrimp and sausage and we'll go ahead and make it into some shrimp and grits for a little brunch. But you just decide which day you want to do it. But yeah, Rhonda cracked the code. The other morning made Olivia's Cafe style grits.
God, they're good.
I mean, the kids, Kaylin was like, these are the best grits I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Now, she hasn't had Olivia's Cafe.
True.
But I blind taste test, and I'm not just blowing smoke or whatever the saying is. It would be hard to decipher between the two if you did a blind taste test.
I did that
killed
good.
it. And you've always made amazing grits.
Thank you.
But we're not going to tell you the secret. You got to join Wonderland Crew if you want to know. But no, I love this. But you could easily make this at home. You just you put frozen chicken breasts in the crock pot in the morning. This is going to turn into a crock pot show, by the way. You put frozen chicken breasts in the crock pot in the morning. Put a little bit of chicken broth in there on the bottom. Let it cook for about 8 hours. When it's done, shred it up. Sprinkle in your taco seasoning or put a can of salsa or something in there. Mix it all up. Keep it on warm. And it's perfect for tacos, but it would be perfect for this dish.
Mm-hmm.
The cioppino seafood stew came out fresh.
Hot.
Yeah, hot. This was absolutely delicious. If all they served was this tomato fennel broth as a soup alone,
it was really good.
It'd be outstanding. Yeah. I was drinking it from the bowl. We had mussels, we had shrimp, I can't remember if there was crawfish in there.
You said there was at the very bottom.
There were clams.
Yeah, because I didn't eat most of it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
This is New England in a bowl. Now, again, I would like to see maybe with the how long Food and Wine lasts that we could maybe get some summertime American dishes and maybe wait till October until they put out something like a cioppino.
Right.
When the weather does cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. It's just like in Canada.
Yeah.
It's 115 feels like outside. Do you want hot soup?
Mm-mm.
No, but yes, because it's delicious.
Yeah.
I would recommend every single item from
So you would get
America.
the chiquiles again.
100%.
Okay.
Now, knowing what I know now, if they are doing the cioppino fresh like that every single time, I would order separate. I would get the chiquiles, or I would get the chiquiles and say, hey, I'm going to eat these and I'll be back in a minute or something. I would just eat them fresh where you still had crispy chips. That's all. So maybe order them separately and see what happens. All right, so we got to ride Cosmic. We didn't talk about this last time because we were doing some research. And if you've seen the TikTok videos out there, this surfaced, I think 6 to 8 months ago. And there was kind of a rumor that there were symbols that would tell you what song you were going to get on the ride.
Yeah.
It was never really clear where it was. And then our new friend Greg, when we went to the Flavors of Florida recently, we all went to Polite Pig after for lunch and drinks. And I was talking to Greg about it. And he's like, yeah, I think it's legit. I went on the other day and I saw this. I saw the symbol. They're on the first and fourth cars on the back. So we're like, okay. So we rode it twice in the one weekend, had 2 different symbols, had 2 different songs.
Correct.
So I noted them. Said, let's just take track. Let's see if we get 6 symbols and 6 songs. Then it's true.
And Jeremy also sees the car in front of us and then goes, all right, this person, that's easy to spot. You'll go run and find them. And I'm like,
ask them what song
Lord.
they got.
So I did.
Yeah. So this time around, we said, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at the symbol in the car in front, the train that goes before ours. We're going to spot somebody on it so that afterwards we can find them and ask them what song they got. Right. We'll then track ours. Now we'll have at least 4 samples. If the same symbol comes up from last time with the same song, okay, this might be legit. If the same symbol comes up, but it's a different song, okay, this isn't legit. If a new symbol comes up with a new song, so anyway, turns out it's all garbage. The symbols have nothing to do with the song that you're going to get. We actually talked to somebody who rode before us. They had the same song we did, 2 different symbols.
Yes.
So she said that she'd actually talked to a cast member, and I have confirmed this with a few other people. The symbols have nothing to do with what song you're going to get. Basically, a train starts on song 1, that individual train, and it plays in order 1 through 6, and then it starts over.
Right.
And now I can't remember. I think
because she had the same song, and that was the weirdest part to me.
I think it was something like Conga. I believe Conga might be the first song in the rotation, and September or something is the last one, or Disco Inferno is the last one. But so you cannot determine what song you're going to get. The only way, there really is no way.
Yeah,
because you can't track that train. You can't. Now there might be 6 different trains, and I'm guessing that that's what each symbol is for. So there's 6 symbols, and there might not even be 6.
Right.
There's 6 trains. You'd have to be able to follow somehow one train individual with one symbol for 6 rides to try and figure out the full playlist and then what you could get. Anyway, we debunked it. Not happening. We did go back to the campground, though, and I know we've talked about this before, but just talk about the scavenger hunting real quick and the amazing Facebook groups that are out there.
Yeah. Definitely join if you're going to be at Fort Wilderness. The I don't remember which main one.
There's several of them out there.
Yeah, but just go look. Literally, you can search Facebook.
I think
Disney's Fort Wilderness scavenger hunting.
I think the one is literally titled The Original. That's the one that has the most members in it and seems to be the most active.
Super fun.
So how does this work?
Well, first of all, if you're planning a trip, go ahead and go to your local, I don't know what, cheapest place you can find with
do a Dollar General or something.
Well, I just started to say just get Disney stuff. Yeah. You can find stuff at Dollar General, but if you're somewhere else that, there's not a lot of Disney stuff, I mean, look on Amazon or maybe even Oriental Trading Company.
Or just be my dad's son. So my parents volunteer for a place called Fostering Hope up in Conway, South Carolina. And anytime anything Disney comes in, he'll bring it to me. Like he'll just buy it because it's kind of like a thrift store type deal for foster families. So he'll pay for it and then he'll just bring it all to me. So he brought me this box full of, I don't even know what they are because I don't think they're Funko Pop brand, but they're little figurines. And last time we went last year, I took a bunch of them. And those are what we went out and hid. Yeah. So, you could do this with anything. I mean, they don't have to be packaged new items.
Oh, no.
And we've seen everything. This morning, somebody hid a Bo Peep and Woody lounge fly. Like, we've seen literally lounge flies. Seen lounge $25 flies. Gift cards.
We've seen, and I was like, and it sucks because I'm like, man, when I'm not there, like, somebody that does custom cups I've seen of Stitch and different things. I've seen other people do custom other things because that's what their business is, and then they bring it. And you can do that.
Yeah. No food items.
No food items.
Candy, anything like that. You're not supposed to leave.
And you're not allowed.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to do a business.
I don't think you're supposed to leave your business card.
Correct.
But like, maybe
the conversation will come
there.
up sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And if there was something that you did want to do, because we've seen this, a lot of times people will post on there and just say, hey, we're at site 1823. We've got a snow cone machine. Yeah. And we're giving out candy for the kids, or we're giving out Jell-O shots for the adults.
Or pen trading.
Yeah, we're pen trading. A lot of them will do the chalk, the art chalk stuff and say, hey, it's my kid's birthday. We've left out a whole thing of chalk. We're heading to the parks. Super cool if people stop by and write messages or draw stuff. It is such a cool community.
It is
group.
A great community. And
we got a Stitch 626 Squishmallow.
Yes, and some coloring book and crayons and the girls were doing that. And
it was
I
cool.
Got the Squishmallow.
Well, it was a whole group. It was like several sites together.
Older people too.
Yeah.
Like
and they were hanging out and having some drinks, and they hit it right around where they could see the person who found it.
Right.
So when we found it, they were all over there cheering and stuff.
Were.
And it's just
and they were like,
so
we were seeing
fun.
how long it takes somebody to find it. But, as soon as Lacey said Stitch, and I was like, what Stitch?
Yeah.
And then she showed me, and I was like, oh, it's 626, because we have the regular one. Yep. We have the Lilo Squishmallow.
They come from Five Below. They have a whole series. There's an Elvis one, Elvis Stitch. Yep. There's a couple of them. I think a Luau Stitch. We'll need to collect them all.
So we have 3 of them now. Yeah. And thanks to one from scavenger hunting, but super fun.
And again, it's not just the fact that the campground and staying in a camper or staying in a cabin or even, popping up a tent or anything isn't just cool in its own right. This is the ultimate staycation place. I mean, we spend so much time just driving around in the scavenger hunt. We'll give one of the kids the phone and they're like, oh, here it is. Yep. And a lot of them are kind of like riddles.
Some are.
Yeah. I mean, like I remember we did ones where I think originally, it was, I'm not going to say the year because I'll probably get it wrong. It might've been 1923 or something, but that I think Snow White or something came out and we're like, this is hidden at the site because it was an empty site. This is hidden at the site number of the year, Snow White was released or something. And then people go, oh, that's what it is. And some of them are kind of more blatant where they're just kind of out in the open, but it's just so much freaking fun.
Super fun.
So we had a blast on Friday doing that. And then, we had done vacation grocery delivery. I had planned meals for each evening. And we had an off night where we could just do trails in. We ended up doing that Thursday night with the fried chicken debacle. If you go back to last episode. Yes. So Friday night was going to be nacho bar night.
Yes.
And our good friends from Vacation Grocery Delivery, Landon and Jessica, were going to come hang out with us.
Yep.
And we're going to meet up with some other folks later that evening. And so I was like, I'm going to bring the crock pot. In around noon, I had 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm going to throw in 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 taco seasoning packets, little bit of water, and just let it cook all day. There's like, I don't know that I'll do taco meat another way if we have the time.
Okay.
Cook 4 to 6 hours.
Yep.
Break it all up. It's perfectly like ground. Normally I just cook it in a pan on the stovetop. This worked out so well and it fed an army. We had 8 of us eating, and then we just had bags of chips. We had shredded lettuce. We had salsa. We had sour cream. We had guacamole. We had shredded cheese. And everybody just got to make what they want. Now, the other way to do this, we just decided not to do, is to do this as a walking taco bar.
Yes.
Where you get a big bag of either single serve, you can get Doritos,
Yeah.
You know, like it's good with nacho Doritos, Cool Ranch. You could just get Tostitos, whatever. And, you know, you open the bag, you put all your toppings in it, get a fork, and you just eat it out of the bag. We've done that before.
Yeah. My brother taught us that one.
Yeah. So, but I think this is a great, you know, and then like that, I think it was that same day Rachel did pot roast in the cabin with her crock pot that she brought.
Yep. Smashed potatoes. And that looked so
I mean, and
good.
it's a great option for, again, you're set it and forget it. You go to the parks in the morning. There's so many different things you could do in the crock pot. Do not bring a crock pot to any of the regular resorts, please. You're not supposed to. Just putting that out there. You do whatever you want, but you're not supposed to bring a third-party heating element such as that, or like a hot plate or your own microwave or anything. Just saying. But crock pots can really come in handy. So, and it was fun. We all just sat in the camper again, 8 of us comfortably.
It was so hot, and I'm glad that our camper was so large that we could. It's sad we never used the outside camp chairs at all.
No, we didn't. It was just so hot. I mean,
it was.
But anyway, so we then headed down to the main beach area, to Clementine Beach, and went to Crockett's. And well, first we met up on the beach. Tay and Steph came over because they had just gotten in, and then we went in to meet Mark and Figgy in Crockett's. And I'm telling you, it's just another one of those things. They pipe the music in from Clementine Beach. You can sit out there, you can see the fireworks, you know, shooting over the tree line and all. You can hear the music.
Barely for this time.
Something was going on with their speaker system. Normally it's better. And then what can you wait around for, Rhonda? It's going to come swimming through the water. That sounded weird.
Yeah. The electric water pageant, which is super cool. And was that Rachel's first time watching it?
I think it may have been. I mean, because this is her first time at Fort Wilderness and staying in the cabin and all. In fact, she loved it so much, she switched her birthday trip coming up from Boardwalk to a cabin because that's how much she loved it.
Wow.
So anybody that's ever questioned the cabins, you know, and Rachel tends to rent DVC, now owns DVC. So she tends to stay at DVC resorts. And her mom's coming with her for her birthday. And she's like, I want my mom to experience the cabins.
And I think she's bringing the puppies.
They're gone. Yeah. This time she will, because you can bring pets there. They're all, again, camper rental adventures. There are a couple of them that do allow pets.
Yes.
So you could bring your fur babies there. All right. We'll move into Saturday. Same deal. Kids are going to sleep in a little bit, but you had signed them up the night before.
Yes.
To do what on Saturday?
Horseback riding. They were wanting to, and we already had plans, and the only availability was on Saturday during basically our time.
But I mean, you booked this less than 24 hours before, which was shocking, because we walked up to the ranch up front, and she looked and said, there's nothing available. Just check online and keep checking. And we did.
Yep. 2 came up for Lacey and Cassidy, and then 1 came up for Kaylin. You know, it's just so funny. People say what a small world it is. And we were there ending the girls' summer, and Kaylin went to go, unfortunately, ride by herself, but I was really proud of her. She went, and she saw our friends, Bethany and Mike, with their 2 girls that live literally on the other street. Like, I can almost like point right now out our window.
Out our back door.
To their house.
Point to their house.
And
they were there.
They were there celebrating their daughter's birthday. They booked it back in June because they were like, this is what she wanted to do. So Kaylin became a part of them and was a family of 5.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so cool. Bethany took pictures and sent me. And then, of course, an hour later, Cassidy and Lacey went and had a great time. And it was nice because they really thanked me a lot for that.
So how long is the trail ride? Because you've done it
about
before.
An hour.
Yep. And how much does this cost?
Without pass holder discount, it is like $55, I believe.
Yeah, $55 a person.
Yep. And it is you save 10% with your pass holder.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great deal.
100%.
And again, you know,
$50 a person almost for us.
I think it's one of those things where people, you know, they go to Disney and they don't even know that stuff like this exists. Yeah. Or they say to us, why do you go to Disney so often? Oh, I don't know. We can go horseback riding. Yeah. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Yeah. You know, that you can go horseback riding. You can play mini golf. You can do archery. You can do, you know, crafts at all these different resorts. There's so much to do. Yeah. And this is a great one. I'm so glad they got to do it. So while they were doing that, though, we snuck off again, got up, got Tron, 7 a.m. So we had a lunch booked at Grand Floridian Cafe to meet Rachel and Chris, Tay and Steph. So the 6 of us were going to do lunch there. And I think we had it like 11:30, 11:45 or something. So we figured
I think it was
we
like
could
11:35.
Yeah, something like that. So we figured we could, because we got a pretty early group, we should be able to make it to Magic Kingdom and ride Tron and then get over to Grand Flo. And we were a few minutes late getting there, but they had already checked in for us. We're waiting for us.
Yep.
I was wearing my regular Be Nice to Cast Members shirt. Tay was wearing his Tron version that we do now. And the folks out front, the cast members, I think one of them was a manager. There was a hostess. There might have been a server. All just loved them. Loved our shirts. Absolutely did. They're like, we love your shirts. Thank you. Say thank you. Go through the bullet points real quick, though, for Grand Flo.
Okay. Grand Flo Cafe is located at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. It is American/casual dining. You do get your Disney Visa or AP discount for only 10%. Breakfast times run from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. You have lunch from 11:05 to 2 p.m. And then dinner starts at 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So breakfast and lunch are the same menu. There's one
Correct.
slight difference we'll talk about, which is funny because we originally had Kona Cafe booked, or I had Kona Cafe booked, and we had just eaten at Yak and Yeti, and they're similar enough menus. They're similar enough fare, you know? And so I hit up the group and I was like, are you guys good with Kona? Do you want me to look for something else? And Rachel was like, I'm okay if we don't do Kona. And she had just dined there recently as well. And Tay and Steph were like, we're cool with whatever. So I said, all right, there's a Grand Flo or there's a Steakhouse 71. What do you want? And they were basically like, flip a coin. So I said, okay, heads is Grand Flo, tails is Steakhouse 71. Landed on heads. It's like, okay, we'll do Grand Flo Cafe. I booked it. I didn't realize that the breakfast and lunch menu were basically the exact same. So I was a little disappointed. I was like, shoot, I should have looked at the menu and I just would have said it was tails. They wouldn't know. Because Steakhouse 71 serves a traditional lunch menu. And I was kind of like, we've eaten so many breakfasts lately. I kind of wanted a lunch. So I'm like, all right, well, I said we would book it. So I booked it.
I'm glad we did.
So I am too. So we get there and we sit down and the manager comes back with a full plate of pastries.
Yes.
And is like, again, like, thank you guys. Love your shirts. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's some pastries for you to enjoy. So we tried them all. It was everything from scones to like mini muffins, croissant, stuff like that. Super duper good. So just this array of delicious pastries.
They were all good.
They're not even on the menu.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just a fun item. So they bring us this whole thing of pastries and that was really good. And then he says, we're making some biscuits, a plate of biscuits with our citrus butter for you guys fresh because they don't serve those after 11 a.m. normally.
Correct.
We're already at about 11:45, 11:50,
Yes.
and he's like, it'll be a few minutes. So they bring them out and there's these little like buttermilk biscuits with this delicious citrus butter.
Oh, so good.
They were amazing. Absolutely loved them. So right off the bat, we're like, well, this is pretty good.
I know.
Like, we're having a pretty good time here.
Yeah.
So it was super nice of them though, and we all enjoyed it. We were going to order some beverages. What did you get, Rhonda?
Well, first I was looking at some beverages and I was going to get one that Steph said that she's had, and she actually recreated it at her bar and called it something obviously different. But it's super good. Then he says our waitress says on the menu that these are specific to Grand Flo.
Yeah. And we like to try and do that when they have specific cocktails only to that.
Well, so Steph goes first and she picks the pomegranate paradiso. Well, it's fig vodka, pomegranate, lemon, and pineapple juices for $15.50. And I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to follow in my friend's footsteps and I'm going to get the same thing. So we both got that and that was fantastic.
Beautiful.
Jeremy tasted it. It was just so good.
It was brunch in a cup. Like, I mean, it's the perfect brunch drink. It's light. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Like, I thought it was absolutely delicious.
Yes.
Tay had some Bloody Marys.
Yes,
that
he
he
did.
definitely enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then I got the Gold Rush cocktail. So this is Elijah Craig, 12-year Kentucky straight bourbon, lemon juice and honey garnished with honeycomb for $16.50. Really, really enjoyed this. Like when I get an old fashioned, I like them a little bit on the sweeter side. This had a good sweetness to it. So I like this. Again, I think it's a good brunch beverage. So really, really enjoyed this. So this really is, whether it's considered breakfast or lunch, this is really a brunch menu. There are traditional breakfast items. There are traditional lunch items. In the past, I think it was with your parents, we had the shrimp ceviche that is super light and refreshing.
Yes.
They have an incredible French onion soup.
Yes, they do.
That you can get. Heirloom apple salad, of course, avocado toast, like any brunch place should have. They've got an array of different salads, like Caesar salads with shrimp, with chicken, fruit, and yogurt. You can get Bananas Foster style steel cut oatmeal. They have a Reuben, the grand breakfast, which is a traditional 2 eggs with bacon, sausage, and cheesy hash brown casserole. You can get a miso glazed salmon, pancakes, waffles, French toast, eggs Benedict. We've had in the past, loved. So there are a lot of different options here. One option that there is not is the lobster thermidor burger.
Nope.
This has come off the menu due to lobsters. I don't know.
And the price.
And the price, yeah. I mean, it's really the price and accessibility, I think, because there still are other places on property that are serving lobster.
Yeah.
In fact, I think they were still serving lobster tail at Narcoossee's.
Yeah, because didn't you message Chris and be like,
yeah,
I'm going to go get one.
Which is funny because Chris hates the lobster thermidor burger, which I just think is hilarious because it was one of my favorite. What they've replaced it with is the Grand Floridian Cafe signature burger. So this is artisanal 7-ounce burger patty with brie, bacon pepper jam, roasted garlic aioli, and arugula on a brioche bun, served with cafe signature waffle fries for $23. This is what Rachel got, and she was nice enough to cut me off a piece and let me try it. Ooh, this enters the burger. This enters the burger conversation, I think. It was really good. You have to like brie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is like a half-inch slice of brie on top.
But it was super cool because the way it was fried, it's super soft in the middle. So when she squished her burger down, like your egg thingy, it kind of oozed out. And it was cool.
Well, here's what I've always said is like the test of a really good burger. Right? There's a lot going on here. We've got brie, super, super strong, stinky cheese, bacon pepper jam, garlic aioli, arugula, a big brioche bun. The burger patty did not get lost.
Oh, yeah.
You could still taste the burger.
Yeah.
And that's what I really loved about this overall. So I thought it was great.
Good.
What I had gotten last time here with your parents is what Steph got, and that's the Impossible Burger. Caramelized onions and plant-based smoked Gouda on a Kaiser roll. Of course, that's with an Impossible Burger patty for $21. She really enjoyed it. Yep. The only reason I didn't love it last time is because you got the lobster thermidor burger and I got the Impossible Burger. I've never eaten an entire I never got a chance to eat an entire lobster thermidor burger on my own. I am sad. But it is a great plant-based burger.
Yes, it is.
It really is. Then Chris went ahead and got the buttermilk fried chicken, which usually comes with waffle, with a sriracha honey drizzle for $26. Our waitress had told us that you can replace the waffle, if you want, with pancakes or even French toast, and that a lot of people really like it with pancakes. So he got it with what kind of pancakes?
Banana pancakes.
Yeah.
And when she brought it back down, or put it down, the pancakes were there and then just bananas piled on top. So he actually asked the question, are there bananas in the waffle? The pancakes as well, or just on top? And she said, no, they are actually in it as well. And he was very happy about that. And he liked his very much.
Banana pancakes are delicious. If you've never had them, never had them until I heard the Jack Johnson song Banana Pancakes. And I was like, wait, there's a such thing as banana pancakes? And we've made them before at home.
Yeah,
I mean,
blueberries, strawberries.
There's something about banana, though. It is just, oh my gosh.
Chip.
It's summertime. It's something about it that just feels so summertime. And just pour your batter and then drop some sliced bananas in it. And oh my gosh, it's so good. So he loved his. And then we decided to go a little bit overboard. So, well,
we were sharing.
Yeah.
So
Tay and I got the same thing, which was the steak and eggs.
Yes.
Right. So this is sirloin steak, cheesy hash brown casserole, 2 eggs, and a house-made steak sauce for $21. So that's what Rhonda and I were going to split.
Yes.
We thought that'll be enough. That'll be fine.
Yes.
Then you said, wow, I'd really like to try the French toast. And you asked, can I just get like a side of French toast?
Yes.
So,
and I said a small side.
Yeah.
because sometimes sides come and like you get like 5 pieces and I'm like, I just wanted like
Two
one.
Creeks.
Yes.
Remember you got the side of French toast up there and they're like, here's a loaf of bread.
Right.
So this was one full piece of bread.
It was. So only 2 pieces.
Yeah, but it's a brioche bread with Madagascar vanilla bean scented brioche, served with bacon or sausage for $17 normally.
Mm-hmm.
We just got the little side item, no meats or anything.
Yep.
And then I was like, you know what? It's a party. Let's go. This is brunch. Let's also get the roasted tomato and feta quiche. So this is spinach, feta, and roasted tomato baked in a delicate pastry crush for $15.
With a side of arugula, air quote unquote salad per se.
Yeah.
With then watermelon slices, I think 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, 2 little wedges
on the arugula salad.
This
so it's
is
beautiful.
Brunch. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Now, we'll start with this one.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. You didn't love it as much, right?
And neither did Rachel.
Yeah.
We both tasted it, and Rachel and I both agreed it was too crusty and too
it was dry. It was dry.
And just, I didn't like it.
I really enjoyed all the flavors, but I get where you're at. Like, you can have that pastry crust that can be a little too dry and a little too flaky almost and overpowering. I thought this worked. Now, if I had gotten this as only my meal, I probably would have been disappointed.
Probably.
But I finished the whole thing after you guys had bites.
Yeah.
I finished the rest of it.
I liked the arugula salad.
Yes, that was
I liked
good.
that a lot. And then we didn't eat the watermelon, but Chris did.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
Yep. And by the way, we need to do something. There's an entire watermelon in our fridge that my dad brought, and I don't think anybody's touched it yet. They could eat 1 piece last weekend. We've got to do something with it.
Okay.
We're taking it somewhere.
Okay.
To a party or something.
Okay.
We'll give it to Tina for her birthday this weekend. All right. What did you think of the French toast?
Fantastic.
Yeah. This
so good.
Would not have been disappointed if you ordered just this as your whole meal.
Absolutely.
With the bacon and sausage.
Absolutely.
I wish we had gotten some bacon with it. I like bacon with French toast and syrup, like all in one bite.
Oh yeah.
I think it's good. You know what they have at Rick's?
What?
Now? Sports over at they stole it from me.
Oh, they did. Did they?
Mickey waffles stuffed with breaded chicken. Chicken and waffle in a bite. Do you remember when I made that for our Christmas party about a decade ago?
Oh, that was weird.
So it's on a stick and it is a Mickey waffle, but they are putting a chicken nugget, chicken tender in the middle of it so you get chicken and waffle in one bite.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I came up with it a long time ago. No, this was outstanding French toast.
Yeah.
Just delicious.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know that we've had French toast anywhere else on property. Unless it was at unless they had it at like Boma. Did you have some at Cape May? You did get it at Cape May, didn't you?
I just started to say,
That's
anytime.
Right. What'd you like better?
This.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Cape May was fine.
Oh, yeah. But their focus is on this.
Oh.
Cape May's focus is on everything.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And theirs was still delicious.
Yeah.
Steak and eggs. First of all, this cheesy hash brown casserole.
Oh, that was good.
If you've ever been to Cracker Barrel, which I'm pretty sure everyone has at some point in their life, it's been a long time for us since we've been to the Barrel. Shout out to David King. So I love their cheesy hash brown casserole though at the Barrel. This was like that, but better. And as though it was baked inside of a muffin tin cup because it came out like
it was. Yep.
It's not like it was just on a plate. It was shaped a round circle about an inch and a half thick.
Yep.
Whew, it was so good.
It was.
I loved this.
Yep.
We got our eggs over easy.
Yep.
Perfectly cooked. I love, again, that runny yolk. And then the sirloin steak was the perfect brunch steak with eggs.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go to a lunch or dinner and say, yeah, I'd like to get your steak, and it's just supposed to be your steak is, you know what I mean? Like the main course with some sides, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
But it had a nice crust on the outside, like they cooked it on, a flat top or a griddle or a real hot grill. Super flavorful. We got it medium rare. So it was cooked exactly the way we wanted. And again, for me, that runny egg yolk and mopping it up with the steak bites, I really, really enjoyed it for being a steak and egg dish. I don't know if I would have loved it as much if it was just a steak dish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. And their house-made steak sauce. So we all tried it. Taylor did not like it with his steak, but what did he eat it with? His French fries?
Yeah.
He liked it. I tasted it. It's a very strange color.
Yes.
I tasted it.
This is not A1 steak sauce.
it's their house-made steak sauce. It was interesting. I thought it was fine with the steak, but it wasn't good enough to eat more bites of. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But the other thing is the steak didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I
agree.
The Outback is different than going to like a nice steakhouse. But if you ever went to a nice steakhouse and you're like, yes, I would like to get the steak medium rare, and they're like, would you like A1 with it? You'd be like, no, I would like to leave. Like you shouldn't need it. And this steak was done well enough; it didn't need it. So, but it was weird. I did not like it at all.
I enjoyed the steak with, like you said, the egg bite. That was good. So it was good. Enjoyed it.
These are the type of places that I wish had a bar that you could just walk up to and sit down and be like, I'd like a cocktail and a cheesy hash brown casserole, and that's all I want. And maybe give me that watermelon because I didn't get to eat it last time, and I know Chris loved it, and it was super, super fresh and all. So from there, Tay and Steph were like, well, we're going to head over and see about Trader Sam's. We're like, we'll tag along. Yeah. Like, you know, we don't get to see them very often. Right. And so we're like, we'd love to hang out with you some more. And they were going to go do food and wine that afternoon and all. And we were going to go back to the campground. So we're like, yeah, let's hang out with them. So it's about, what time was it at this point?
It was before 3 because apparently that's when they open at 3, right?
Yeah, but you can start getting in the line at like 1 or earlier.
2, I thought, somewhere. Anyways, the main point is we were there around 3-ish, 2:30-ish. I mean, 2:30-ish.
Was that late?
2:30-ish.
Okay.
I think 2:30-ish because
that would have given us a 2.5 hour breakfast. I think it was about 1:30 because I'm pretty sure they opened the line at around 12:30 or 1. If you're not there by 2 normally, you're definitely out of luck. We showed up about 1:30 and it was a 3-hour wait?
It was it would have been like 8 o'clock.
Longer than that? Oh, that would have been like the return time was like 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the guy in front of us and then we were like, and they were like, nope, we're out.
Yeah, obviously we weren't.
So we went up, and at this point it started there was thunder and lightning where they closed the pool. Wind was picking up. So we were headed around to the outdoor bar, but that wasn't open yet. So then we headed up to Tambu Lounge, which I was like,
Nothing
oh
wrong
man,
with that.
I'm gonna get some noodles, and I just ate, but I didn't.
Well, they don't start. They don't start till 4 o'clock anyway. 3:30 if you're lucky.
I didn't know if we were gonna stay there till then.
That's true.
So, anyways, we just each had a drink, and then
you had a lemon drop.
Out.
Yeah, you had a lemon drop martini, and then Tay and Steph always get the pina colada, which can be found in other places around property. They love that. It is frozen Bacardi raspberry rum blended with flavors of coconut, pineapple, and raspberry puree for $15.50. I had to get a Lapu Lapu. Now I just get it every time. Daniel Miller was right. It is a vacation in your hand. I still think you're still paying for the look and for the pineapple because it doesn't have a lot in it, I feel like. But this is plantation original dark rum and tropical fruit juices served in a fresh pineapple topped with Gosling's 151 rum for $19.50. I got my $19.50 worth because I carried it with me for the rest of the evening until it fell off the back of the golf cart and smashed in the road. So I had it with me and refilled it. So it was good, but had a great time hanging out with them. And then decided we're going to head back to the campground. The girls are all settled back in. They've done their horseback riding and everything. They're ready to go, and we're going to do dinner that evening. So I made burgers. Yep. When we did our vacation grocery delivery order, I got pre-made burgers from Publix, and they were perfect. This was another thing I planned is we already had lettuce from taco night. We already had tomatoes from taco night. We already had like cheese, so I was like,
guacamole.
Like so you could make up your burger however you wanted.
Did you make bacon too?
And then I made bacon. I made a whole thing of bacon. So it was like, all right, let's get things when we're planning our order that we can use multiple times, and that's what we did. Yep. And so it was delicious. Around this time, the power went out in our camper.
Some breaker blew or something.
Well, we weren't sure what was going on. So, and this is how amazing the customer service is over at Camper Rental Adventures and Dawn is I texted them and just said, hey, the power's out. She said, well, check the main breaker on where you plug in on the site. I said, okay, let me try that. And then said, no. And so she called me and said, go inside and there's going to be fuse boxes. And so we found where the fuse box was in the kitchen. We checked all them. Everything looked fine.
Yep.
So she says, then it's not an issue with the camper or your site. You're going to need to contact Disney. There might be something else going on. So we contacted them, Aaron and Tito.
How did we contact them, Jeremy?
By Dove, carrier pigeon.
No, we didn't.
Go ahead.
The last time when we were camping.
And she gave me the number as well.
Dawn did?
Yes, but I had it
okay.
saved in my phone.
Yeah, because when our the security came by and he was nice enough to give us a number, and I was like, Jeremy, call that number.
Yeah.
So we did, and they were within 10 minutes.
If that. Yeah. Aaron and Tito came out, and it turns out
Tito for real? Like Tito's?
Yeah, like Tito. I didn't ask him if he also dabbles in vodka making. I could have. But so they came out, and it was actually a main breaker at the like main thing that controls like all the sites basically. Yeah. So, but they got it fixed super quick. But I mean.
And didn't they say though, if it does it again, literally they'd have to shut down the entire like loop.
Yes.
And then we're like.
And reset the entire loop.
Oh God, please
don't. So like, please don't happen again. So it was right around this time that Daniel Miller, Professor at Leisure on Twitter, and Nomad Lounger, our new friend Steve, who those two are trouble. They came out to see us, and they thought they were so clever. So they didn't know that power had already gone out, and we got it back on, and we're inside the camper. So they thought they were so clever, and we had a plug in at the front. We had an extension cord that I was running all the way back to lights, right? Yeah. They thought that was controlling the entire camper. So they video for Twitter saying they're going to pull the plug on Main Street Magic. They pull it out. They have no idea it does nothing. They're waiting for some big reaction from us, like coming out. So he ends up calling me and he's like, oh, we're out here. So we went out, showed them the camper and everything, all that good stuff. But we ended up, well, we'll just end with our trip back to Trails Inn for dessert, Rhonda. Yeah. And I have the receipt in front of me because here's what you ordered. All right.
I didn't order. You just pick up.
Okay. Here's what you picked up. And these aren't all listed exactly on the website. So that's why I grabbed the receipt. Whole fruit. So I think one of the kids got an apple or a banana.
To say, yeah, that must have been the kids. I told the kids get what they wanted.
Yeah. Then we got Bears and Dirt for $3.79. We got a crispy chocolate treat for $4.79. We got a peanut butter and jelly cupcake, my idea, for $6.29. We got a s'more cupcake for $6.29. And a banana pudding for $5.79. Now coming out, that was only $31, which is not bad. It's cheaper than Gideon's, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ate the whole Bears and Dirt. That was gone. Ate the peanut butter and jelly cupcake.
We brought that home.
The Bears and Dirt we brought home?
That was the chocolate.
Yep, you're right.
Like a cup of dirt.
Yep, you're right.
It had gummy worms. That one was fine. I expected more from that.
Kaylin loved the banana pudding. We brought that home and she ate on it for days.
So did Lacey, so did Kaylin, and so did I. That banana pudding was fantastic.
Here's what I thought was amazing. So we ordered these on Saturday night, right? Came home Sunday, put it in the refrigerator, the s'more cupcake. Didn't break it out until Tuesday night when you got home from work.
Yep. Because we didn't want it to go bad at this point.
Right. It tasted so fresh, you would have thought that they just baked it and we picked it up and ate it.
Yeah,
and it was
really
delicious.
Good. It was.
It was
Lacey
outstanding.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the peanut butter and jelly? Because I did not eat it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I like them. I really like Disney cupcakes now.
Good.
They've gone. They're still trying to make them like super inventive and Instagram worthy, but they've gotten to a point where they actually make them taste good now.
Yes, I agree.
And so we went to bed, got up Sunday morning. We had to pack up. You got to be out of the site. You need to be out of the site by 11 technically, but because Camper Rental Adventures is going to come pick everything up, we got out of the site before 10. Yeah. Right around there. So they have some time to come pick up the camper and all of that. Again, super easy. You pack up your stuff, you leave, they take care of everything else. And it was another one of those incredible just weekends. So
that was almost sad to leave. Like
it really
wish we were staying one more night.
Well,
because then we would have probably just been at the pool. We'd have just hung out. We would have just enjoyed the kids. Yep. I went that night looping with them. Yeah. Because they could drive and I could just ride. They found friends. That was hysterical. But Jeremy was back at the camper.
Hanging with Rachel and Chris.
Chris came over and So I think it was, and we love everybody, but it would have just been, I think, a nice another night to just wind down with just the kids and stuff. But it was great.
What made this one super hard and have zero pity on us is we were coming off of these 3 weekends in a row. You know what I mean? So then it was like, because, we came back from Universal and it was like, oh, we got next weekend. Right. And then we came back from, Chuck and Amy trip at Boulder Ridge and it was like, oh, we got next weekend. This one was like, oh, well, we don't have next weekend.
And I'm okay with that because of my type of work.
Right. 100%.
I was very happy.
Yeah. We got back into the swing of things.
And then we had his parents. And then this weekend we got
plans.
Tina.
We got Friday night. We're going out Saturday night for Tina's birthday. Next weekend, we are going to Marriott Royal Palms, Volcano Bay on Friday, and then then we have a weekend or two at home before my big birthday weekend, and Halloween Horror Nights, and then our September into September is nuts. Because we have back to back again. So it's good. But one of those isn't at Disney. It's going to Myrtle Beach. So there'll be we'll throw a little extra something in there. But thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes.
We're going to have a couple non-trip reviews. So if you like the trip reviews, you've really been in heaven past couple weeks. If you do not, we've got some other cool, just like topical episodes coming up. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. I'm going to find out if Rhonda wants to do Anyone Can Cook Saturday or Sunday morning. We're going to plan that for our Wonderland Crew Patreon group. You can learn more about that and join at wonderlandcrew.com. You can follow us along in all these adventures and live streams as we live stream all the food and wine, tasting and the tour of the camper and tour of Boulder Ridge and all those things. So check us out there. And then, of course, finally, if you're online, we'd be super happy if you could leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.